You know, what's the one thing, the single biggest hurdle that trips up almost every single trader out there? It's that fear of a losing trade. But what if I told you that fear, what if you could turn that into a professional tool? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down a really powerful mindset shift to help you do exactly that.
So let me just start with a kind of provocative question. What if your fear of taking a loss is the very thing that's causing you to lose? I know, it sounds like a paradox, right? But stick with me, because understanding this is the absolute key to unlocking a totally different approach to the markets. Okay, first things first, let's just be real for a second. That sinking feeling, that frustration when a trade goes against you, that is completely 100% normal. Every trader on the planet feels it. It's just part of the game. So the goal isn't to get rid of the feeling, it's to change what that feeling means to you.
This is one of those ideas that sounds simple, but you have to let it sink in. Losses are going to happen. No matter how good you are, no matter how amazing your strategy is, they are unavoidable. They are a feature of the market, not some kind of bug in your trading. Seeing a loss as a personal failure, well, that's a trap our brains are just wired to fall into, and now we're going to look at exactly why that is.
So where does this intense, almost paralyzing fear of loss really come from? Well, a lot of the time, it comes from something that's actually a good thing in other parts of our lives: perfectionism. We want to be right? We want to get that perfect score. But in the world of trading, that instinct, it actually becomes a form of hidden self-sabotage.
Exactly. When you go into the market demanding a 100% win rate from yourself, you're setting an impossible standard. And that pressure, it leads to all the classic mistakes. Holding on to a loser way too long, hoping it'll turn around, or being too scared to even pull the trigger on a perfect setup. It's a recipe for disaster.
And you can really see the difference right here, side by side. The perfectionist, well, they see every single loss as a personal failure. Their emotions are on this crazy roller coaster. But the professional, a loss isn't personal at all. It's just a predictable, expected cost of doing business. See how the focus shifts? It's not about being right on this one trade. It's about being profitable over the long haul.
And this brings us right to the core idea, the big aha moment of this whole thing. We are going to completely reframe what a loss is. It's not a penalty. It's not a fine for being wrong. It is simply the cost of doing business in the market.
That's it right there. A trading loss is the cost of participation. It is the price you pay for the opportunity to catch those big winning trades. Now, this is tough to swallow because our brains are hardwired with something called loss aversion. We feel the sting of a loss almost twice as much as the joy of an equal game. But in trading, you have to fight that instinct. You're running a business, and losses are just one of your essential operating expenses.
Just look at this list. A bakery owner doesn't have an emotional meltdown when they get the electricity bill, do they? Of course not. They know it's a necessary cost to keep the ovens on and bake the bread. It's the same thing here. A trading loss is just the cost you pay to keep your business operating in the market, ready for those profitable opportunities to show up. It's that simple, and honestly, that powerful.
Okay, so we've talked about the psychology, we've got the mindset shift down. Now let's pivot to the logic that makes all of this possible. This is where we stop worrying about our feelings and start looking at the cold, hard math of probability, because that's what really drives a profitable trading business.
Now this statement right here, this surprises a lot of people. It feels completely backwards, doesn't it? How on earth can you make money if you're wrong more often than you're right? Well, the answer has nothing to do with your win rate. It has everything to do with how you manage your risk and your reward.
Okay, let's walk through the numbers here, step by step. We've got 10 trades, 5 of them are losers, 5 are winners. So, a coin flip, a 50% win rate. But here's the magic. Every time we lose, it costs us exactly 1%. Every time we win, we make 2%. So watch that profit column. Trade 1, it's a loss, we're down 1%. Okay, trade 2, it's a win, we're back in the green, up 1%. Then, ouch, 2 losses in a row, we're in the red again. It's a grind, right? But as the wins and losses just play out, look where we end up. After all 10 trades with just a 50-50 success rate, the account is up a solid 5%.
So here it is visually. An equal number of wins and losses, 50-50. If your goal was perfection, you'd feel like a failure half the time. But if your goal is profitability, hey, this is a fantastic result.
So what's the secret sauce that makes this math work? What's the magic ingredient? It's this number, the strictly controlled loss. By making sure that no single loss can ever hurt you too much, just that 1% in our example, your downside becomes completely manageable. It's predictable, and that gives your bigger wins the room they need to make you profitable over time. So after seeing the psychology and seeing the math, let's redefine what success even means. Success in trading is not about having a perfect record. It's about something way more achievable and way more sustainable.
These are your real goals. This is your new objective. First, focus on finding and refining a measurable edge, something you can actually test and improve, not just a gut feeling. Second, apply strict risk management on every single trade. It's got to be non-negotiable, like a robot. And finally, you have to zoom out. Stop obsessing over the outcome of this one trade and start focusing on your performance over the next 100 trades. That is the blueprint for running a real trading business.
And that really brings us to the final, most critical question. This is the choice that every single trader has to make, whether you know it or not, every single day. The hunt for perfection? Well, that just leads to fear and self-sabotage. But the pursuit of profitability, that leads to process, discipline, and eventually long-term success. The choice is yours.